Fear is a beautiful thing. Is there not a strange radiance to the color of dragon flame, or an unspoken harmony to the siren's song, and an exquisite craftsmanship to the horns of the basilisk? Yes, these moments of elegance are nevertheless drowned out by the beating of the heart, the wetting of the pants, the sunken eyes with which you look up at your annihilation. However, I would wager that when the first human stared into the eyes of the Leviathan, I believe they saw beauty. And so I ask you, brave souls, to once again join me as we undergo another journey into fear, as I personally acquaint you with the most nightmarish, blood-curdling monsters the human mind has sought to create. Imagine, for a moment, beauty. You crest the hill to see a small village in the valley, a lovely village from afar. You finally reached your destination. You grip the sword on your back. Time to make some money. You ride into town. Your horse scares some nearby villagers as they look up at you. Everyone in this town looks tired, as if stuck in some perpetual haze. Houses made of stone and straw, with weak foundations and even weaker people. They seem drained and hopeless, and they all look the same. No wonder they called me, you think to yourself. You'll find this monster that's been causing them trouble, and show that creature what it means to fear. You ride toward the town hall. Hello there. You turn to see a small boy, no older than 12, looking up at you from the ground. He's covered in beggar's clothes, and he looks extremely thin. Glad to finally meet you, he says. What a strange kid, you think. I'm the lord of this town, he continues. You laugh. All right, my lord, you say jokingly. Show me where I can get some food around here. The local inn is the only place that seems lively in this town. Clattering beers and laughing men and women. Everyone's eating and drinking. You would never think that these are the very same men and women who looked so defeated this morning. I guess that's what a good drink can do, you think as you sit. The innkeeper walks up to you. What can I get for you, kind sir? He says with a smile. Try some of our local pie. He won't be having any. A voice behind you calls out and you turn to see the small boy who stopped you on the street. That will be all, he says. And he waves off the innkeeper, and the innkeeper bows and walks off. You turn to the boy lord, and he smiles. Do you believe me now? He says. You nod, and he continues. I am the one who called you. I know you kill monsters, and I believe that there is a peculiar evil covering this land. You've seen it, haven't you? The way my people's eyes glaze over during the day, and revel in almost maddening joy during the night. That is because, in the dead of night, there is a creature who roams this town in search for the most miserable, sorrowful individual and finds a way to kill them. And so, the men and women you see around here, laughing and cheering, are not happy. In fact, they are trapped. They are mourning the death of their loved ones, full of grief but forced to smile, beckoned to laugh. For if not, an unknown horror will seek them out and put an end to them. This morning, you saw them as they are, dejected, fearful, alone, forced to smile for their lives. You take a deep breath. Through all your years of monster hunting, you've never heard of a creature like this before. This is how my father died, the boy lord tells you. He was unhappy about my mother's sickness, and the creature preyed on him. I was lost after he died, the boy lord says. I've stopped eating even. You look around at all the smiling faces, mad with laughter, and you frown. Don't worry, you tell the boy lord. I will personally guarantee the wicked creature's end. In your room at the inn, you prepare your weapons and sharpen your tools for the hunt. A knock at the door. It's the innkeeper. I remembered you never ate earlier, he says. I could steam up a nice pie for you. Pie sounds alright, you think. Then you look at the innkeeper, smile on his face, then remember why he's smiling, why he's laughing, why he's being so kind. How dare you eat while he suffers? I'm alright, you say. It's dark, the dead of night. You're on foot, roaming the village, keeping an eye out for anyone who looks miserable or dejected or unhappy. Most of the villagers seem asleep, and so you keep a watchful eye. There, your ears catch the sound of crying and you move toward it. Thought you could use some help. You turn. It's the boy lord. You shouldn't be out here, you say. This village is my responsibility, he replies. And you can't be my responsibility, you respond. Then you hear footsteps coming from the direction of the crying. There's no time, you say. You move, and the boy lord follows. You and the boy lord finally catch up to the source of the crying. It's a middle-aged man with tattered clothes. Oswald, the boy tells you. He's just lost his wife a few days ago. Oswald walks through the town, and you follow him from a good distance away. Then he takes a left turn for the forest. You and the boy lord glance at each other, then follow. A darker shade of night now. You and the boy lord follow Oswald from a safe distance as he walks calmly through the forest. What is he doing? The boy lord asks, and you shush him quiet. Oswald continues for a while, going past tall bushes and logs. Your ears prick up. Wolves. Oswald stops as a large, jet black wolf appears in the clearing, its pack following behind. You reach for your sword. Then you stop. What are you doing? The boy lord says. Help him. You shush him, then study the situation. What is going on? The wolves aren't attacking, and even stranger than that, Oswald isn't showing any signs of being afraid. These things could tear him apart at any point in time, and instead of cowering in fear, he just stands there, defeated. Then the wolf pack turns around and runs off. By God, the boy lord says. Oswald continues, and the two of you follow. Oswald reaches a beautiful lake in the heart of the forest and stops. You and the boy lord watch from a nearby bush as enough of this, the boy lord says. I'm going to help him. Oswald turns sharply. No, he faces forward. You stand up. Oswald grips his head. Stop! You hear him whisper, Amelia. Oswald twists. You stand over Oswald's body, thinking. You saw nothing. No outside factors killed him. He just calmly ended it. The boy lord vomits into a nearby bush. You turn. You should eat, you say to him. That shouldn't be that color. My people are dying, he says. I will see you here tomorrow. And this time, we stop it before it happens. You walk through the town in the morning, and the people are back to their dejected and gloomy faces. They all look up as you pass, silently praying, hoping that you can save them from this torment. You walk on, even more determined. Night again. The next victim is a woman about 20, peasant clothes and rough hair. You and the boy lord watch as she cries into the night, then stands up and attempts to walk off toward the forest. You walk up to her, attempting to reach out. She sprints off into the woods, dodging your touch, and you follow her. Stop, you call out. But she runs off. She darts through the undergrowth, diving past logs and bushes, trees and bark, and she reaches a cliff's edge. Mel, wait, the boy lord shouts. You don't have to do this. I remember, Benjamin. You sprint to stop her, but she takes a step, and the mountain claims her. You look over the cliff's edge. Her body is lost in the lower forest now. The boy lord again vomits into a bush. You need to eat. Stop, he says. Quit patronizing me. I am their protector, and I have to do better. Again, tomorrow. The next victim is an old woman, weeping by her front entrance. You and the boy lord watch her, and when she stands up, you spring on her and hold her still. Calm down, you shout. Don't do. Her head turned Henry. The next night, a young boy, Tormund, Syl, Rob, I remember, Andrew, Freya, Asha, Percy, I remember, Hugo, Mabel, Bruno, I remember. You bind them to their houses and they die in bed. You bind them in a cage and they bang their head on the bars. You hold down every part of their body and their body heats up to a temperature hotter than magma. At one point, you just let them die. choosing their own way to go. After all these deaths, you've become numb to the feeling. The boy lord vomits after another death. After all this time, you hate seeing him this way. You take out the pie that the innkeeper gave you earlier that morning. Enough, you say, and you hand him the pie. He looks at you, about to retaliate, but you force it inside his mouth so he won't die of starvation, and he eats gratefully. That same night, you and the boy lord watch the water on the same lake from the Oswald death. I'm sorry I've been stubborn, the boy lord says. I know I'm not a pleasure to work with. No need, you respond. This village is lucky to have you. Hollow words, he says, when I can't even protect them. I'm sorry, you respond, but your father would be proud of you, you say. My father, he says. Tell me more about him, you respond. What was his name? My father, he says. What was his name? It was the same as mine, I think. He named me after him. You turn to him. Are you all right? Oh, I remember. My name is... The spear runs clean through him. His body drops to the floor. You turn to see the innkeeper, and he has a smile on his face. I've been trying to get that brat to eat for days, he says. Thank you. Haunting realization dawns on you. Why everyone acts the same. Why the creatures of the forest seem to fear them more than they would fear normal humans. The people of the village all appear behind the innkeeper, confirming your theory. Not only them, but Oswald, Mel, and every other villager you thought was dead appears in the clearing. Oswald's neck is still snapped, and Mel's body is still crushed, but they move as if of perfect health. There was nothing you could do. From the moment you arrived, this village was already lost. The malignant being plaguing this village is a skinwalker. Realization hits you. You killed them when they fall out of your control and remember their past. Every villager there laughs as one. Then, the boy lord, spear still sticking out of his belly, rises from the ground beside you. They were always under my control, the boy lord says. I killed them for enjoyment. And the boy, you ask the skinwalker, was he ever real? He was the last holdout, it says. That is until about 30 minutes ago, when you fed the child a piece of my intestine. The boy lord reaches out and hugs the innkeeper, and their flesh starts to fuse into a grotesque amalgamation of human mass. And then the other villagers join in, Oswald, Mel, the old lady, until in front of you stands a 50-foot tall, horrific coagulation of human flesh. It looks down on you with monstrous hatred. You take a deep breath, clear your head. There was nothing you could do. The skinwalker's flesh lunges at you, and you enter a trance. This is the best I can do for them, you think. Let it be a funeral then. Let them reunite with their loved ones. You carve through mothers and daughters like butter, fathers and sons like chopping wood. You cut down lovers, the loved, the kind, the beautiful, the angry, the lonely, the dejected, the damned. You carve through them all without restraint and with the full conviction of duty. This is the best I can do for you, boy lord, you think. I pray this honors your memory as much as you deserve. Beauty. You are surrounded by dead flesh everywhere you look. The villagers all rest now, and they lie on the ground of the forest, soon to become a part of it. You take a knee and look around for a familiar body. There, you find the boy lord's body and take it to the top of a nearby hill, where you bury him. On the mound, after the body is laid at rest, you grab a stick, and with it you write the word Leon. That, my friends, was the skinwalker. Now, don't get me wrong, I definitely made up a bunch of shit, but a skinwalker is said to be able to take the shape of any carbon-based life form and mimic their actions in an effort to grow its influence. They do so by connecting or sharing a part of themselves be it intestine or otherwise, with the person they seek to infect. And baking pies is definitely their most effective way of contact, Wikipedia has assured me. Imagine, for a moment, beauty. The sunset is beautiful, you think as you gaze up at the sapphire sky. The carriage is rocky, but that doesn't stop you from appreciating the beauty of the falling sun. You and the rest of the town children have been invited to visit some newly discovered ruins. The other children clamor in excitement, but you look across the carriage at your little sister. It's her 10th birthday, and you are determined to make it a memorable experience. You look ugly, she says. You laugh. It's even more funny because she was born blind. Listen, you say, when we're in there, stay behind me at all times. I know teacher says it's safe, but I just want to be careful. I am not a little girl, she replies. You are to me, you say. Promise me, she sighs. I promise. The carriage comes to an abrupt stop. You've reached the ruins. Climbing out of the carriage, you quickly jump to the floor while the village teacher counts out names. You turn around and help your sister off the carriage. A taller boy slams into her and leaps off the carriage. He shouts, "Cannonball," as he dives into the mud and it splashes all over your clothes. And he smiles from ear to ear. Elijah is his name. He turns around, oblivious, and faces your sister. "Did you see that?" he asks. Oh wait, the other kids erupt with laughter. You steam with rage and take a step toward the boy. Don't, it's your sister, she smiles. It'll only make it worse. You take a deep breath, realizing she's right. Hey, don't feel sorry for me, she says. The gods knew that seeing Elijah's face might kill me, so they spared me the sight. You laugh and help her off the carriage. Stay close, your teacher says as he speaks to the children outside the ruins entrance. Beside the entrance, a broken statue lies on the floor. You can barely make it out, but from the pieces, it looks to be a statue of a woman with wings. It's beautiful. You find a tall piece of stone broken off the statue, and you pick it up. Here, you tell your sister. Use it to help you walk. She smiles and thanks you for your gift. It's dark. The light from the teacher's torch is the only thing that illuminates your way in the cramped cave path. At the head of the group, the instructor goes on about the history and mythology of the cave, saying something about funerals and gods, but you don't listen. You and your sister walk near the back, and your sister's walking cane taps the floor. Behind you both, Elijah and his friends laugh amongst themselves. Hey, you pretend not to hear him. Hey, maybe if you look away. Hey, you stop, turn. What? You say. Elijah smiles. Do you think that your parents would ever be interested in selling her? He points to your sister. Obviously, we'd have to clean her up a bit, but we've been looking for a new scarecrow for our crop, and I think that you take a deep breath and turn around. Thank you, she says. I can fight my own battles. Yeah, Elijah smiles. Fight me then. Elijah swipes your sister's walking stick and darts off into the distance, and you sprint off to chase him angrily. Stop, you call out. It's dangerous, but he ignores you and continues further down the winding tunnels of the dark cave. Along the ground, you see more remnants of statues with wings and womanly faces, but there's no time to think about it. Elijah stops, and so do you. You both freeze as you stare out at a massive cave ruin littered with statues of women with wings. Angels, you realize. It's beautiful. From even closer, they are stunning. Their clothes, though made of stone, look like they would fold if you touched them, and their gorgeous marble wings mesmerize you. I've never seen anything like this in my life, Elijah says. You turn to him. Nor have I. In the center of all the angel statues lies a giant angel statue that towers above the rest of them. It's at least 40 feet tall. You gaze up at the statue. Such a mesmerizing sight. There you are. Your instructor's voice makes you turn to the cave entrance, where him and the rest of the class are walking towards you. Except your sister. You look around and realize that she's not with the rest of the group. Wow, these are pretty statues, a classmate says. She goes up to touch one of them and disappears. You all freeze. What? Instant chaos, as one moment the girl was just with you, and the next it's like she evaporated from the physical realm. Everyone's eyes go wide. Get away from them, you scream. One of your classmates backs up and mistakenly hits the statue without looking, and he is instantly evaporated from the physical realm. We have to get out of here. You call out your sister's name, but you can't find her. You can't even hear her voice. Your classmates and teachers turn to leave these evil statues behind and head for the cave entrance. But it's strange. As you all run, you hear footsteps behind you. Loud footsteps. As if you turn back, an enormous foot is seconds away from crushing your skull. Frozen in the air. The massive foot of the giant angel statue that was at the center of the room just a moment ago is right above you and your classmates, 2 seconds away from crushing you and them whole. You swallow. No, don't turn your back, you say. Do not take your eyes off the statues, you shout. They can move if you're not looking. Everyone, even your instructor, takes your lead and looks directly at as many statues as possible. You spiral. What is going on? What are these creatures? You rack your brain. You think to yourself, were they ever even statues? If they are only still when you're looking, that would mean that this entire time they were flesh and blood, alive, waiting. But you know their weakness, you think. They fear observation. Don't blink, you think. Don't look away. Don't blink. Don't look away. Don't think. Don't blink. Don't look away. Don't. Sister! It's your sister's voice calling out to you. I need you. Help! You turn. Nothing. You see that everyone else in your class has also turned around, no doubt drawn by the voice of their own loved ones. There is nothing there. You laugh. It's almost funny how easy it was. You say a prayer. A prayer for your sister. It's hard to navigate this cave while blind, but you just about manage. You can't feel sorry for yourself. Your sister has always made you feel capable and happy and loved. Speaking of, where is she? It's been a while since you heard any voices. Did she ever get your walking stick back? You use the cave walls to guide your step. It would be easier with your walking stick, but that prick Elijah. Sister! Ah, you finally found her. Come here. You follow the voice. It's louder now. Come to me, sister. Come to me, you say. Since when do you talk like that? Embrace me, sister. Alright, you think. Someone's feeling a bit sentimental. You walk toward the voice, towards your loving sister, toward her. That, my friends, was the weeping angel, known as the lovely assassin of the Doctor Who universe. The weeping angels are quantum-locked alien killers, as old as the universe itself. Little is known of their origins or culture. When observed, they freeze like stone, but in the blink of an eye they can move vast distances. The touch of an angel hurls their victim back in time, allowing the angel to feast on the energy of their unlived days. Alright, let me know if you liked this video, and if you did, make sure to subscribe, and also comment about any cool creatures from any work of fiction that you want me to include in one of these. Also, I recently started some channel memberships. If you feel like going that extra mile to support me, I would appreciate it very much. And you can get some cool perks and a shout out in a video. Totally not necessary. Everyone will have access to every piece of content I make. Good tidings, ladies and gentlemen, and watch out for pies.